Hi agents, Al Perry from Century 21 Advantage Gold here. Recording this video for our agents in-house here at Century 21 Advantage Gold. Just wanted to walk you through the process by which you can set up and establish a buyer agency presentation. We've been talking a lot about buyer agency now. And we want to be able to sit down and have a business meeting with our buyers. You know, we've been doing this for years with sellers. You sit down, you have a business meeting, you talk about the features and benefits and how that might benefit a seller. You talk about the value that you deliver in a transaction for a seller. And hopefully what you do is you talk about your fee as it pertains to an investment. And if the seller sees the investment as such that will yield a return, they hire us. They've been doing it for years. It's the same thing for a buyer. You sit down with a buyer, you have a business presentation with them, you help them understand the value that you bring to a transaction. I wouldn't suggest doing this at a house. You know, a lot of times the buyer wants to go look at a house. We want to avoid that. We want to have them come to our office if possible. We call that a CITO meeting, CITO, come into the office. But truthfully, we don't even need to do that anymore with technology being what it is. You know, we could always meet them outside the office, say at a Starbucks or something, just somewhere where we can have a one-on-one. But we can also meet them here on Zoom or on Google Meet. Just to keep that in mind, sit down, have a business meeting with them, help them understand the pain points associated with a transaction and how we can help as agents, and how it's a great place to introduce our fee as an investment that should yield a return for them. If it doesn't yield a return for them that's measurable and quantitative, then it's no surprise that they might not hire us. So it's really critical to get this part right. We need to deliver value. If we show them how we deliver value and all the ways that they can see a return on that investment, then the fee becomes a non-issue because it's an investment with a return, and anybody's willing to invest money that they can feel a guaranteed return is evident. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to 21 online. Make this a little larger. And this is just a home screen. My home screen may look a little different than yours because I'm a manager, have manager access. But we both have access to, if you go in that menu on the right-hand corner and you go down to your productivity hub, and then we want to scroll down and go to Moxi. There's a number of Moxi tools in here. Really, we're looking for Moxi Present because presentation, Moxi Present. But you notice once you go into Moxi Present, you get put into a whole Moxi hub. So you have Moxi Present, Moxi Engage, Moxi Website, Moxi Impress, all these different Moxi tools. But again, we're going to Moxi Present. And then I've already created templates in Moxi Present. I've created some buyer prospects when I'm going out showing houses. But the presentation I'm going to do with you guys today is what I call buyer CITO number 1. I'm not going to open this because this is already created and this has been branded to me. I want to show you how you can get one branded to you. But you notice I also have some things saved by name. These are actually meetings that I went, some property addresses and meetings I went for sellers and for buyers. You can customize presentations in here as well. But really, we just need a template for this buyer agency presentation. So let's go up here to create new. And even though you have buyer tour and buyer here, and then, of course, you have our seller and property review tours. Close this. Really, I'm going into what's called a non-listing presentation. The buyer tour thing and the buyer piece here, really tries to tie it to a property. So if you were reviewing properties with the buyer, and let's say you had option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are great presentations to use because they help you kind of set aside all the properties that a buyer may be considering and help present them to the buyer. But this is earlier in the stage. This is when we're just meeting with them, hopefully to strike up a business relationship. We're not there kind of breaking down a whole bunch of properties. So I'm going to go into this non-listing presentation, hit continue, and then you'll notice you have broker template is the option that automatically defaults. I'm going to continue with that. And then I'm going to go to presentation name. I'm going to call this buyer presentation just for template. And this is something that you can do for yourself. And I'm just going to hit classic and hit create. You see, I'm getting my little. This is just going to give me one little cover page, and that's it. Now I can go over here and add pages, add from library, or I'm sorry, yeah, add from library, I think it is. Might have been wrong. Oh, here you go. So yeah, add from library, and then I went into Century 21, and notice they have buyer presentations. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here too, by the way, but notice here there's a folder for buyer presentations. I click that, and then here's all the pages you can add. I added most of these, but not all of them. I added a cover page. That's just going to have my photo or whatever you have, whatever photo you have. But you can look at any of these pages and you can see, is this something that you want? I promise to go above and beyond. If you want it, all you got to do is hit the plus box. About us, do I want it? Let me see. About us. This goes into we give 121%. Pretty basic, but it might be a nice little filler page. So maybe we want that. The Century 21 system. Right now, I'm just going to add everything. I did omit a couple I thought were a little redundant in mine, but just in the interest of time, I'm going to add them all. I remember relocate was one I took out. I think Easter seals I took out in my template that I use. But you can't, if you want to just select them all, you can select them all. And then you hit view. Now you can print a PDF of this, or you can get a web version of it. What I'll walk you through is just a web version. Gets created pretty quickly. You can then scroll down here, so you see it comes templated. For me, it has some nice, relentless real estate service plan, just a cover sheet basically, a promise to go above and beyond. And I'm not going to get into the actual presentation itself too much. I just want to show you some of the visuals that are in here. Just talks about the strength of the brand, where you can find us. And I think this is one that I left out of mine. Not that it's not an impressive piece. Certainly an impressive piece for a seller. I don't know how much I love it for a buyer, but again, it's there for us to use. Focus on being on top of the game, what we bring to the table. we put our money where our heart is. This just talks a little bit about our philanthropy interest in Easter seals, and how much money we've done. It's great to show folks the level of community involvement that we have as a brokerage. I think it's something that we do really well. We care about the communities that we serve in, and Easter Seals is just such a great charity that we work in partnership with. It's nice to maybe touch upon that as well, especially if we're going to be doing some Easter Seals fundraising later, with different events that we participate in. Maybe they'd be so kind as to sponsor us, let's say, in the Easter Seals Walk with Me. I mean, you don't have to get that far in the weeds, but we can reach out to people to help support Easter Seals down the road. Elevate, this is a great slide because it talks about our quality service survey. And I have another video I recorded on here that I have stored in my YouTube videos, specifically about buyer presentations and using our quality service survey as a way to demonstrate value. I encourage you, after you watch this one, go find that one, watch that one too. It's only 10 or 12 minutes, I believe. But it really talks about our survey and metrics that are in our survey works that we can show from our past clients that really help, and it's important, really help demonstrate our value. And it's important to let them know, look, after our sale, we're going to invite you to complete a quality service survey as well from a third-party research company. And if I overpromise and underdeliver, that's a great time for you to take me to task on that. But truthfully, we don't do that. We over deliver. And that's apparent when you watch that other video with our quality service survey. It speaks to how much we over deliver. And it's not in our words, it's in our past clients' metrics. So definitely go back and watch that one. But this is a great slide as an introductory to that. And then just the importance of agent responsiveness. This is what buyers say is most important to them, is having an agent that's responsive to their needs. So having an opportunity to talk about how responsive you'll be is important. Talks about some of our relocation network. We have a kick-ass relocation team. So basically anywhere a buyer may want to go in the world, we can help them with relocation services. Doesn't have to be just here in Pennsylvania or in New Jersey, where we're licensed. We have a relocation team and network that will go anywhere. So let's utilize that and help people appreciate that. Same thing with an action plan to find their home. And then we have home finder profile for them to fill out, what they're looking for, what their current housing information is. This is a great one. A lot of people looking for a house have a house that they need to sell. And sometimes we forget to ask them that question. So asking them what their current housing, current housing information they have is important. And then just some information for family information and employer information, which can be helpful to us as well. And then this is a great metric on what buyers value, what they want from their real estate agents. They want someone who can help them determine how much a home buyer can afford, 3%, 5%, determine what comparable houses we're selling for. So a whole bunch of stuff here that are great talking points to go over. And each one of these, you can have an example of how you will bring that value to them. This is what buyers want. Help them understand how you will meet that need, meet those needs. And then why choose buyer representation? This just talks about how there's over 1 million people licensed to sell real estate in the United States. We have over 52,000 here in Pennsylvania as the time I'm recording this video. And very few are accredited buyer representatives. And most consumer advocacy groups now are endorsing buyer representation. And licensing laws are being modified regularly because it's in a buyer's best interest to work with representation. And so that's the way the law is shifting in most states. Certainly, it's been here in Pennsylvania since 1999, and buyers have been capitalizing on that ever since. So, just a little history lesson on why it's important for them to have an advocate in their corner. And then here's what we're going to do when we go to work for you. We're going to help with property search. We're going to do market data, real good market data. I recorded another video in here. I have stored. It's on how to use RPR, the Realtors Property Resource, to help deliver value to our buyers. Watch that video too. Again, 10 minutes, not a big commitment of time. Purchase offer, negotiation, handling details, all important facets. And then services they'll receive from us, all spelled out for them. And then just a little closing. In the fast-paced world, you owe it to yourself to work with a consummate professional. Just a little bio that I wrote up about myself that hopefully you'll write up or something, especially with ChatGPT now, we can write up these beautiful bios just by putting a few relevant pieces of information in about us and our passion for the industry. And we can have a nice little bio that's included here as well. So hopefully this helps you put together a presentation for yourself as well. You can always reach out to me. I'm a resource for you. Happy to help. So thank you for taking the time to watch this. Be sure to watch some of our other videos and be sure to reach out to me on anything that I can do to help. Have a great day.